Hey there, comic book people of the world. It is Wednesday, that means it's comic book day, although I only had a chance to read 3 comic books, 2 of which are very important to the DC Universe itself, one of which not so much in the Marvel Universe, but still it's something that I thought was really well done. Let me tell you what I got. First, for the Marvel Universe, I read The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 22, The Hunted Part 6. This is the conclusion to the whole battle that was going on between Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter, and all of Spider-Man's villains being hunted down by socialites and all these other rich people. The big thing about this issue is a death took place, and even though that does happen a lot, this was a bit unique in how it was carried out. No major spoilers, but you can tell that this is going to be something that's going to be haunting Spider-Man, or at least the whole Spider-Man stories for later years to come. Over in the DC Universe, there's Heroes in Crisis issue number 9. This is the conclusion to this miniseries. Personally, I was not a fan of this storyline. Wally West turned out to be the villain in this, even if it was accidental, but the idea that he did not own up to his mistakes and he tried to cover everything up made him even more villainous. This last issue does wrap things up a bit with Booster Gold doing his whole timey-wimey thing. However, major spoilers, the Flash is unfortunately still a villain of sorts at the end of this. Tom King is the writer for this, and I feel as though there are some editorial demands in the background that we don't really know about what's happening, especially being that Wally West is the villain. Wally West is supposed to be the beacon of hope in this universe, and now suddenly he's this dark character. Moving into Doomsday Clock issue number 10, however, we do see Wally West again, where he is legit the beacon of hope. Major spoiler coming your way, so if you haven't read this issue, I'm warning you now in advance. We find out that the main DC universe is in fact the metaverse, meaning that all of the other alternate DC universes are shaped by this one universe, and that Superman is the center of that universe, where everything seems to focus around him. That does make a lot of sense, being that Superman is the first modern superhero to be introduced in all of comic book history. So Manhattan himself is somewhat confused as to how Superman's origin keeps getting retconned and moving down the timeline. That being said, we do also get some explanation as to what happened to the JSA, which we already had some hints about in previous issues. Dr. Manhattan takes it upon himself to experiment with the DC universe, and he removes the JSA from ever existing, in effect making the new 52 universe. So we get a reason as to why Dr. Manhattan interfered to begin with. In effect, he realizes that he's the villain of this story, and he sees that this universe is not passive and that they will fight back, with Wally West coming out of the Time Force saying this to him. A little bit of a side note, there's a character by the name of Carver Coleman that Dr. Manhattan uses as a constant in his experiment. Carver's story is really sad. We get to see him from adolescence all the way to his death, and unfortunately he left his mother at a young age to go to Hollywood to become an actor, and unfortunately his mother tracked him down and killed him. She was also blackmailing him for money because of a deep dark secret that we find out at the end of this issue if you read the letter that was put at the end. His story took place from the 1920s to the 1950s, and another major spoiler, his mom was blackmailing him because he was gay, or at least it was implied that he was gay. Anyways though, I think I've talked enough about this. I really like this issue. I'm really sad with the fact that we're not going to get the next issue until August, but at least his story's being done, and this is somewhat of a redeeming point for Wally West, even though he only appeared for like 2 panels, but I liked it nonetheless. What did you guys read? Leave comments down below and let me know. With that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site, check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Nice.
I'm in love with a hero.
Even though it's only briefly, but seeing the Justice Society and also seeing the Legion, I think it's really cool that at least we're starting to get some answers as to what's happening in the DC universe. Something that's been in the air and something that many people have been asking for years since the whole Rebirth thing started up. So at this point, I'm just happy with having anything put out there from DC that'll address all of this stuff.